Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהכל נהיה בדברו. The Bible tells us that the Jewish people were counted twice in the desert. First time when they went out of Egypt, they were counted, and then toward the end of the 40 years that they spent in the desert, they were counted once again. What is the importance of counting? Well, you want to know with whom you count. How many people are there? What can you do? Certain things require a certain number of people. But it also shows that you're important. When they say, who are you? You are one of us. You count. You're important. This gives you a sense of value of your own self. Very important. The Torah uses the word Se'u et Rosh Bnei Israel. Elevate the heads of the Jewish people. As if to say, elevate them all to the same height of the Jewish people. Instead of saying count, it says elevate. Actually, totalitarian regimes, dictators, want to have uniformity, everybody the same size. Our rabbis say that in the city of Sodoma, which was a very horrible city, when somebody came there, they would put him into a bed. If he was too short for the bed, they would stretch him. If he was too long for the bed, they would cut off his feet until he fit exactly into the bed. The idea was that everybody has to be the same. It says that mankind tried to build the Tower of Babel in order to maintain uniformity. We should all live in the same place, speak the same language, and eventually God confused their languages so that they couldn't understand each other. And this is why today, you know, Babel is a sign of language, of different kind of languages that we have in the world. But Rabbi Moshe Feinstein says something very interesting. He was a great decider of Jewish law of the 20th century, one of the greatest minds in Jewish tradition. He says the following: why does it say the word Se'u, elevate? It's trying to tell us that everybody can be elevated to a higher position. Very few of us use our talents to the extent that we have them. We use probably 10% of our gray matter that we have in our minds. We can do much more. It's trying to tell us, you are part of a big group. You're going to be counted. There are 40 million people. But remember, you're not only one of 40 million. You're also yourself. You can grow. You can become much taller. You can become much better than what you are. One of the greatest figures, Talmudic figures of the 19th and 20th century was the Netziv, Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin. He was the head of a very famous yeshiva of Volozhin, it was called. And he wrote commentaries on the Torah, on the Talmud, that are studied to this very day. As I say, one of the greatest and sharpest minds of the Jewish people. One of his sons was Meir Berlin. Meir Berlin became a great leader of the Mizrahi, the religious Zionist movement, and he moved to Israel. And in Israel, he changed his name from Meir Berlin to Meir Bar Ilan. And the university Bar Ilan is after Rabbi Meir Berlin, who changed his name to Meir Bar Ilan. So you can imagine who we're talking about. Very important people. The Netziv tells the story that when he was a youngster, before his bar mitzvah yet, his parents went to speak to the rabbi at the yeshiva where he went, and the rabbi told him, you know, he's not going to become anything great. He doesn't have the mind for it. I suggest maybe you do something else with him. And he overheard his parents talking among themselves, and they said to each other, you know, after his bar mitzvah, maybe we'll put him in as an apprentice to become a carpenter. So he should be able to make a living in this world, because a great scholar he's not going to become. When he heard that, something moved him. Not that carpentry is anything base or humble. It is a noble profession. There's nothing wrong with that. But he felt he could do something else. And he went to his parents and he said, please give me another chance. Let me try something. Let's see if I can do better in the yeshiva. And he started studying day and night. And he became the great Netziv. He became one of the most important intellects of the Jewish world of 100 years ago. And as I say, his writings are still studied today. What I'm trying to say is that there is no limit, really, to what you can attain. Of course, some people have different talents, but yet each and every one of us can learn to play the piano. You won't become an artist. You won't become a concert pianist, but you can learn. You can do much more. Each and one of us can become more adept with numbers than we are. It's a question of effort. It's a question of dedication. It's a question of concentration. Above all, it's a question of wanting to do something, of wanting to grow emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. And you will see that there is no limit to what you can attain as a human being.